Do not disturb on anything
Yeah,
else.
yeah. Alright, we are streaming. I'll post this in the Discord first. Get some randoms. And let's see here. Now we wait.
What's up, guys?
What's happening, y'all? Let's make sure the volume is good for everyone. Appreciate that, bro. Gonna fill up my water here real quick while people start to file in. Bit deal, what's happening, homie?
Volume's too hot. You can hear him making a drink.
It's just water, I swear. Still not smoking weed, man. It's been 2 months now. It's crazy. Might just have to go the full year just to prove that I can.
Do you miss it?
I don't know. Like sometimes, yeah. Like I miss just like later tonight, I want to just like sit, watch a movie. It'd be like, oh, it'd be nice to, smoke a little bit of weed, but it's not like I'm like, oh fuck, I need to get high to chill out or anything like that. Like I feel like people who are like that are fucking losers. I don't get like, for me, it's just like a thing to do. It makes doing nothing very easy. So I do feel like I'm a little bit more active and like wanting to just like make sure I'm entertained and doing stuff as opposed to be like, oh, I could just sit here and watch Netflix for 3 hours.
Yeah, you were active. I do it very rarely. So when I do it, I get properly like lost in whatever feeling I've got. I'll just be like laying on bed or chilling on the sofa, just absolutely enjoying myself.
Yeah, I don't get like for me if I smoke a joint I'll be high for 30, 40 minutes and then I'm like, okay, that was a thing. I mean, I could smoke a joint and then go to dinner with my parents. Like that was how long I'd been smoking.
Actually, tell a lie. I did some in December. I had a mate over from Dubai, and we were smoking some like in a really like public tourist area, and I was just walking through the streets, just completely in the face, just cracking up big time. We went to Five Guys, and it took
Okay,
me
yeah.
about 10 minutes to order because I was just laughing my face off.
Oh yeah, I remember the good old days.
Brilliant, brilliant.
All right, 50 people, not bad. Wait for a few more and then we'll get going. I know you're smoking, bit dealer. I'd be smoking right now too if I was you. It is a beautiful day here, man. It is crazy. I think spring has arrived. I hear it's quite hot in the UK right now. It's warm.
No, it's windy as fuck.
Oh,
It's really hot today, man.
someone was telling me yesterday or something that it was really warm there.
So you're talking to us Brits too much because when we chat shit, it's just about the weather, and you're actually doing that now. It's like, oh, what do I break the silence with? Oh, the weather's pretty nice at the moment. It's been
Well,
alright. It's
it's
been
a
okay.
it's a
It's been like
Canadian
50.
thing. It's a Canadian thing too, because it's not always nice here.
Fair play. Fair play. Bear market. There's only 50 people in crypto.
This is a public video there. DP Hafen. This is gonna
You
be
might
on.
want to get you might want to get the chart up, mate, because I don't know. It's going to be one of those things like the old days when
Oh,
we
look! It
first had
looks like F is going right now. We timed this stream very
yeah,
well, guys. We're hoping to catch the
yeah,
dump here. So, and gold is having a nice little bounce, just like I talked about in yesterday's video. US CAD dropping, just like I discussed. All sorts of
oh,
shit
there's
going
Bitcoin
on.
going, man.
Yeah,
Bitcoin's going.
it's not going until it goes, but if it goes, we're making money.
Yeah.
Because I got stopped out of my hedge, so this has to work now.
This is like when we first started the group. Every live stream you were on, you were just catching big moves, weren't you?
I know. Well, is the
It's the
main
same again now.
is the main live stream moves. It would pump or dump whenever I recorded a video. We just had volatility. I don't even know what this line is here. What is this line? Delete.
Nah, it's not. It's just doing like this little basing again. It's like we were saying before. It's either gonna just fall off a cliff now, or I think it's gonna do another little wick up. I would be surprised.
Kind of like this, but more condensed, right? Like this, move up, clear it, and then down. But we'll see.
That spike at like 3895, I'd be surprised if it spikes above that one like right in the middle of this tiny little range we're in now. Yeah, if it's I'd probably bet that would get a lower high, like a little spike. If we do see that, then I'm convinced we're gonna drop basically. I mean, I'm short from 3847. I put that on my Twitter the other day. Remember, stop above what you call a breaker.
Yeah, no, I'm in essentially the exact same trade, except for my entry's a little worse. My stop is about 3960 is my stop, so just above here, just above
3959. So yeah, not doing bad that way.
My stop is here. My entry is like right here. See, look at this. Just got bought right up completely.
Yeah.
Like, look at that. What a joke.
Wow.
So I mean, like, people are, like, trading this fucking range. I'm like, really? Because, like...
I mean, if you know what you're doing, yeah, but you're going to get caught out by...
Most people
don't. Huge whips last week.
Yeah.
And a lot of people don't, obviously, but these wicks, I mean, I can make a case on M5 to take a short, and then it's just going to absolutely wick up, catch all the shorts, and then dump anyway.
Yeah.
And it's what's the point? Like, to me, it's what's the point of trading this? So I've stuck to my higher time frame levels as I normally do, and which is one of the two trades at 4120, and then this like half risk one at 3850. But scalping that, like, look at this, like, what's 5 minute? Yeah, like, it's just going sideways, literally sideways for like an hour.
Yeah, like this, literally this. What is this? $1? Nuts. Okay, well let's do a little intro, and then we'll just continue with the chatting. So what is up, everybody? Yes, this will be recorded, Ed. So this is a little public live stream with myself and Mr. TA. This is Trader Mayne speaking here, and we are running a group, as some of you guys know, called the Bitcoin Trade Group. So it's an education focused Discord where we share trades and share education surrounding price action trading. It's myself, Mr. TA, and Scarface, and the goal is to teach people how to trade, how to navigate the markets, and ultimately execute on their own. Right at the end of the day, most people in this space are here to learn how to trade, because they want to be able to, maybe make a little extra money, maybe make this a full-time gig. Who really knows what your motivations are? But the idea is, there's a lot of misinformation out there. There's a lot of shit on Twitter, as many of you guys know, and YouTube. And our goal is just to kind of become a resource for people who want to learn how to price action trade. So we started the group 6 or 7 months ago. I don't even remember. It's been a while. It's been going very well. And we've, had some students who've made amazing, leaps and bounds in their education and are crushing it. And, we're super excited. And we thought we'd start doing a little bit more public stuff to, share with all you guys, because we know a lot of you guys are following us on Twitter or wherever. And we appreciate that. We want to give you a little bit of a taste of, what we kind of do on a daily basis within the Bitcoin trade group. So we have, education videos structured in order from, here's your beginning learning stuff to more advanced concepts. And then we also do a lot of live streams where we're interacting, directly with members. We're sharing trades, we're live trading, we're, helping them with their analysis and just having a great time. We have a really great community in there and we want to share that with you guys. So, link is in the description. Feel free to check it out. If you got any questions, you can DM us, either of us, Scarface or the group Twitter. We have registrations open up in a week. But with that being said, this is a little public live stream for you all. So we're going to go over our thoughts on the markets right now, BTC, Ethereum, and just kind of, what our thoughts are, what our high time frame thoughts are, where we think maybe for the medium term. And if you guys got any other questions, any charts, any random shitty alts that you guys are trading for some reason, you want to see us chart, we'll do that as well. So without further ado, let's jump into it. What's going on there, Stingray? So in this chat, guys, I'm going to try and check every, once in a while. So if you have something you want to see, you have a specific question, leave it in the chat, and I will come back every, 10 minutes or so, go in the chat, and then we'll answer as many questions as we can. We're going to try and keep the video to about an hour. So just so you guys are aware. So let's get into it here. So I'm very confident, that everyone has been staring at the Bitcoin and crypto charts for the last, how long is this, 2 weeks? And probably, you're bored out of your mind, and I don't blame you. For those of you that just joined, we're just kind of talking about how, untradeable almost, unless you really know what you're doing, this little range has been. And it's interesting. I do think, and I think Mr. TA agrees, a move is coming soon. Obviously, the $1 million question is what directions that's going to be, right? And so it's pretty standard PA as to what we've seen since, the start of the year almost, right? So we've had these consolidations that have led to, impulse moves. So, I mean, this is what, 8 or 9, 10 days there. There's another 7 days. This is about six days here, and we're coming up on just about 2 weeks, a little less than 2 weeks, 10 days or so of consolidation here. So an impulse move is coming, right? And one of the things I always like to tell people in the group and on Twitter and YouTube as well when I do streams is you should be able to start noticing price compression without needing some sort of indicator. Like, a lot of people will use Bollinger Bands, right? Like, if I were to throw Bollinger Bands on here, what do you think they would be doing right now? Right? Or some sort of wedge or triangle, or, and all that shows is price is compressing, volatility is probably coming. So I think we're at that point now, and I think Mr. TA would agree, where, we're compressing into kind of, a point here, and it's going to break up or down. And I think him and myself, we're both short. So, the bias to the downside, but, if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. I have a, clear level of invalidation. So I thought what might be a good thing to do is let's mark this fresh chart up from blank to, levels of interest to us. And we can start even, way out here on the monthly if we'd like. And then just kind of work our way down. So, on the monthly chart, Mr. TA, if you're just looking at this chart blank, what's the first level of interest to you that you'd mark on here?
It's the one we're obviously at in the moment. It's that if you move I don't even know what you call them. It's on the left swing before on the bull run. It's around
this level here.
Yeah, this level here. Yeah, absolute beauty of a level on the monthly. I've got it on the weekly as well, and I put a post up last year, and I maintained that really it's not that much of a key level. I still think it's like the reaction we're getting from it, and look at those monthly candles. It doesn't look great at all.
Yeah.
I still think it's going to drop. And one thing I've been quite aware of is that all like the fundamental news at the moment's coming out, and I think it just looks like we're at the bottom of the market because it's kind of getting to that point. I still think this is what I'd call mid-level. It's like a level which is one I'd be like, yeah, it could work, or it could just fall through. I'm not really that confident of it. So for me, I mean, we don't look. I don't look at these like monthly
Yeah.
opens and monthly closes and all that. I know you do, but looking at what you're doing now, I mean, it's tapped that monthly open a couple of times. It's just not painting what I'd look at saying very bullish candles. And then I made that tweet the other
Yeah.
day about a bullish engulfing candle. It was just an absolute piss take, just to rile people up. It is a bullish engulfing candle, but
But
I
so is
wouldn't
this.
say. I mean, technically, some people say it is, some people say it isn't. I couldn't tell you because I just don't look at them, and I don't think you can look at this chart and say one bullish candle, golfing candle, we're going up. So really, like on the monthly, I still think like if this level doesn't hold, then it's better to look on the weekly.
Yeah.
But this is the obvious one on the monthly,
I
right? And
agree. And you look at the dump, it didn't even support it, right? You can mark out
nah,
this entire candle and it just got nuked. Because I remember I did this too. When we started falling through 6K, I marked this as a potential area, and it just nuked right through this, 4,000 area. That doesn't mean that these levels couldn't be significant on the way back up, but they definitely were not significant on the way down.
yeah.
But I
I
agree
mean,
with you.
I
I would
use
zoom
the
in.
wick. Yeah, but I'm different from you. I use the wick. So the bottom of that candle for me suggests that's where the buying took place. So there's going to be big orders that remain there or some sort of buying pressure. So I think at a test of that, we could see a reaction. If we don't, then that's probably going to flip to resistance. And I think we're going down more towards mid 2000s. My initial sort of target, which I said in April last year, is like I could make a case for it going down to low 1000s. And it really, on the weekly, when we get down to it, it looks very weak.
Yeah.
But I think that a lot of people are getting quite hyped by this at the moment because obviously that looks like a very strong level on the monthly because it's a base and we're getting a lot of fundamental news out at the moment as well. So people are making a case for this being the bottom. But as I said, like a year ago, this entire level to me just looks weak. I wouldn't be throwing my house at it. Go down to 1,000, I'll be throwing everything I've got at it.
Yeah, no, I agree, and and to the point about candlestick stuff. I think there's value in so many different types of TA, and whether it be people who are using certain shapes and pennants and wedges, or people who are using candlestick formations and stuff. I think all of that stuff works really well if you use it in confluence with price action and having a
Yeah,
thorough understanding of market structure and price. And then it's like, sure, we have a whatever the doji is, right, where it's got a long wick on the top and then a very small body, and okay, is that bearish or whatever? Well, if it's at a key resistance level, maybe we just made a break in market structure bearishly, then I'm like, okay, this looks like a good place that, yeah, price is kind of reacting to that level. Now that candlestick makes sense to me. But what I don't understand is when people do stuff like this, be like, oh, it's a bullish engulfing, the bottom is in. It's like I think you need more than that. I think you need levels. I think you need horizontal confluence and an understanding of market structure. Then you can
yeah,
use that stuff.
context.
I have friends, who trade really well using things like the Guppy and Ichimoku clouds, and I have not even the slightest understanding of how that stuff works. But they don't just sell it every time it touches the cloud. You know what I mean? They say, okay, well, we also have a lower high, and then we have this, this, and this, and the cloud is here. So, I don't like to just completely shit on indicators. I mean, I personally, that was part of what I branded myself as coming up. Like, indicators are a joke. I think, if anything, an indicator was created by someone to help them interpret price and have, help with their bias in terms of making a trade. If trading was as easy as putting on moving averages and just buying every time there was a cross, everyone would be rich, right? So that's why I always think it's such bullshit when people post those MA posts, being like, "Oh, we got this golden cross and shit." Like, if it was that easy, why are you here? Because you should be a bazillionaire by now and just go on every single market and buy or sell every time it crosses, right? So it just
Yeah,
doesn't
I
really make
agree.
sense to me. But confluence is everything. So let's go down to the weekly here and see if we can get a little more detail on levels. And I agree with you. I think the levels are more interesting
Yeah.
on the weekly here. So I
So the
like,
way I
Yeah, go ahead.
Sorry, the way I look at that is if you just scroll over to the left a little bit, is people look at it as well. So the base of this level, this monthly level, is like an SR flip from the top of that little swing high to the left.
Hmm.
Yeah, just like that. So again, it looks like a little bit of confluence, but for me, there's a level on even a lower time frame, more like the daily, where this entire monthly level has been formed from. So this monthly level is a reaction to something on a lower time frame, which we'll get into as we keep going on. So this for me, again, it doesn't look that strong. It looks quite hollow, and I don't really think we're getting that strong a reaction. And it's like, for people to say it's a bottom, and this recent lower high again. If we dump now to the low 3000s, I don't think we're going to get a higher high from testing the low 3000s. I think we'll rally again, but again, if we get a lower high after that, I think we're just going to go down and retest 3K and then drop lower.
Yeah, so I agree with most of that statement there. I mean, so it's funny when people ask me, they're like, "Oh, well, how do I know when a level is used up, or like what levels to focus on?" So I always focus on recency, and then where we are at relative to price, right? So if I'm looking at levels to analyze Bitcoin right now, I'm not looking here. I don't need to look here for levels here because the levels that you find here, you're going to notice, like, here's the yearly open, basically, right here. This swing low also happens to be the yearly open, which is also basically the equilibrium point of this entire range. So I'll look for recency, and then the time to drop down and say, okay, let's look in the past. That's when you're doing, okay, well, where can we go? When 6K broke, where can we go? That's when you look left. That's how I do it personally. Like right now, there's enough levels here for if you're intraday trading Bitcoin, all the levels you need are right here, in my opinion. And if you look here, just like I said there, the equilibrium point of this entire range, basically, right, just from this high to this low. I'm not using the wicks. You could use the wicks because I know people are gonna say, "Why don't you use the wicks?" It's like there's me using the wicks. It gives you, it's almost the same. You gotta remember this is a weekly chart, and the difference in the equilibrium was $60 there, so I'm not really worried. This is almost the yearly open, as you can see, and I mean, you could have just traded this kind of range. So there's an argument to be made. We're in the top of the range, but to me, this kind of move into the top of the range for all you Trader SZ fanboys and all you guys that are in his group, and everyone seems to trade ranges now. What? Yeah, funny how that works, right? So how does his analysis work? Well, you say, well, we're in a range, right? What happens when you get above mid-range, you target the top of the range? Well, that's exactly what happened here. You could have just bought when we started breaking. You could have zoomed in, and as soon as we started getting daily closes above this range, you could have longed. But we've now tapped the top of the range and rejected quite sharply. To me, that's not a good sign. I mean, so as long as we're holding above the range, sure, you could be bull biased, I guess, on the weekly chart. But to me, this wasn't good. The levels I'm really interested in, aside from, okay, well, where are we going if we lose the floor? That's a completely other question. I'm a little bit more intraday, focused than that. I mean, my initial target on my short is going to be like 3,500 and then like 3,300, and then obviously the lows again. But this is my favorite level here of upside resistance, and you can see it's a good one, right? We stopped it there. Resistance, 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 resistance. Very much resistance here. So I mean, you could mark out this entire candle if you wanted, and that would be your weekly bearish order block for those of you that cream over that kind of stuff. But it's much easier to just even round the number up. So sometimes what I'll do, this is a common thing I do in Forex. I don't do it as much in crypto, but I'll just pick the round number. So if my number is 4096.5, the level just becomes 4100 for me. Ooh, not 41,000. That's future price prediction for you guys there. Keep that one secret. That's the year 2025.
Martha told us that. Keep it quiet.
Yeah, that's secret to this group. So 4,100 to me is the key level. I don't think we're going to see any sort of significant upside unless we get a close through here. And you can see we haven't closed through here in what is going to be almost 4 months now. So to me, the way I see the bottom forming is kind of two ways. We're going to see another leg down. and then we're going to see some sideways, or maybe this is it, but we're going to have a range of $1,000 to $2,000, and maybe we have a dip below here, but then just range. I think that is a lot more likely, and I don't really think we see any sort of sustained uptrend till the end of 2019 going into 2020. I don't think that this is going to happen, which I see a lot of people charting. I just don't see that. And then all of a sudden we're, on the new bull market. I just don't think it's going to bottom like that. I could be completely wrong, and I would not really care because by then I would be getting on board. But to me, I don't think, if you missed buying in the low 3,000s, I think you might get a chance again.
Yeah.
The other level of interest to me is going to be here. And then I have one more level that I really like on the weekly, and it's this level here. So the equilibrium of that block there. Just gonna see if I can draw that 3.532.3. Those are the levels I really like on the weekly. And then you could draw the yearly open on there as well, but you don't want to get it too busy. So personally, I do see, if we lose where we're at and we get down into the daily now, I don't really see a bounce happening here like a lot of people I think do. I think a lot of people are going to try and buy the yearly open and stuff again. I think we go to here personally.
I think it's weak as fuck. Yeah, I think it's pretty weak.
Yeah, and I'm also of the mindset if we see 3,500 again, we're definitely fucked. So it's quite precarious where we're at in price right now. I think it's an interesting spot. I do think we could go up from here. There's nothing to say. The most bullish thing about this, in my eyes, and I don't know if you agree, Mr. TA, is just I was saying this even before we had this crazy pump to 4K. In all my videos, I said, hey, right now we could be forming a higher low here. That was kind of like the bullish argument is this is a higher low from here. But that doesn't mean shit until this level gets taken. So we came close, but we didn't even touch it. And if this is the lower high forming with this kind of a wick, to me, that's really bad. That means that the drop that's going to follow it is going to be nasty. So that's the bullish thing about this. We are forming a higher low here. We do still have this higher high intact. This is not good for the bulls, this type of a wick. But there's an argument to be made that, we are going to, pump from here. And if that's the case, I will change my tune and I will long. That's something that doesn't have to be overcomplicated. I mean, to me, I don't think the 4,000 level gets cleared super easy. I do think there's a lot of levels in here. Like, I think there's a level right around here.
4,800 is what I've got as a huge level to. I mean, this is the problem as well. Like, people think it's just going to shoot back up to like 6K, but there's big levels. Like, the way up was really easy before. The way back up, it isn't going to be as easy. We've got loads of places to short, and there's a lot of selling pressure from people. Like, look at Arthur at BitMEX is going to be making a shitload of money catching people offside.
Yeah.
I think 4,800 is, if we get a move from up here, I think 4,800 is probably the highest it goes, and people are going to get super pumped about that because it's going to be a higher high, and that's a really nice bull trap in my opinion. And then, like, I think 3,100 is like my low for now, and I think that is the low until I'm wrong. And it's like I've been saying for weeks to you in private and to everyone else that we've got in the Barmy Army, is that I think we're going to put a lower high in. That is a lower high to me. And the higher low that you talked about is insignificant in my opinion.
Yeah.
If we've got a lower high, we've seen it before.
Yeah, over here.
Left of the chart, and again, a lot of people, I remember at that
remember
time,
Twitter here?
Really excited.
All you guys know what Twitter was like here, right?
Yeah.
Everyone was like, this is a higher low, and then obviously rejected, right?
We shorted that. Yeah, we shorted up there, didn't we?
Oh my god, my computer's gonna restart.
September.
My computer's gonna restart here. Hold on one sec.
Are you joking?
I keep doing. Has my screen gone black?
No. You can hit later and it should be fine, right?
Yeah. Remind me tomorrow. I keep doing remind me tomorrow, and I think he's getting pissed at me. It's like, motherfucker, it is tomorrow. All right. So
Like,
no, I agree. One
yeah.
one thing that people don't understand about market structure, and speaking of market structure, all of you guys want to see a great market structure video by Scarface. Retweet that tweet. It needs to get to 2,000. I think it's about halfway there. He'll release that publicly. It's an awesome video.
It's fucking brilliant.
But one thing people don't understand about market structure is in an uptrend, I care about higher highs being made. I don't care about the higher lows as much. Because what can happen is you can have a dip below there and then a continuation of the uptrend, right? And that could just be a swing failure pattern, a trap, whatever it is. In a downtrend, it's the exact opposite, right? It's lower highs and lower lows. You want to care about the lower lows. So in a downtrend, which is what we're in on Bitcoin, like it or not, this doesn't mean anything until this is broken. And that's a hard thing for some people to understand, and I get it, but it's like, look at the evidence, look at the higher lows that we had this entire bear market. Here's a higher low that led to a higher high, right? And then if you want to have a higher low here, sure, but until this high got breached, and I was saying that, go back on Twitter. I said that this entire way, and I shorted, I think, this area, this level in here.
Yeah.
Publicly,
Exactly, yeah.
I shorted this on Twitter, and this is one of the reasons my account got a lot of followers over this summer, is because I nailed this short, and I nailed one back here as well, because everyone was screaming for 10,000 here. Remember when they were screaming for 10,000 here? This is technically a higher low if you use the wicks, let's say, but this is a lower high. Everyone wanted 10,000 here, and it came to 9,975 and then dumped. So same thing here, right? Everyone was calling for 8,000. They're like 8,000 up next, and then 10,000 up next. The difference here, to me, is that we are a lot further along in the market cycle. That's what's more bullish about this higher low than any of the ones previously. I never thought 6K was the floor. I was one of the proponents, along with some other guys, that it was not the floor, not the bottom. This has more likelihood of being the bottom than 6K ever did. So I guess that's a bullish argument for the case, but I don't think you're going to miss the bull market. I very much think the time to buy for this next bull market is going to be a long, sorry, someone's calling me. It's going to be a long consolidation. Like, if you just compare it, even the last one, I know everyone's like, oh, my fractal, whatever. I'm not even trying to compare fractals for price. I'm just trying to say, like, when this bottomed out, say we're here, this was a year, right? And then look at this clear uptrend that formed.
And all the opportunities you had to buy as well. So
Bitcoin is $1,000 here. You're way off from the bottom. The bottom was $200. Would you not still have been stoked if you bought it at 1,000? Like, of course you would, right? Like, so obviously, if the bottom was 3,000 and you didn't buy it until, it was in a clear uptrend at 5,000, that might suck. But if you honestly believe Bitcoin's going to 50K or whatever it is, you're not going to care. I promise you. So, be smart about it. Be reasonable. I can get caught, being too bearish at times. Sure. But, I've made a post about this not too long ago. I'm very confident most people, myself included, are better off, scaling in just in portions over this year. And if it goes lower, if you buy one Bitcoin at 4,000 and one at 2,000, your average cost is 3K, right? So even if it does go to $1,000, which seems crazy, but even if it does, you could buy a Bitcoin down there and bring that average cost down to something that you're going to be very happy with long term. So
yeah, you're gonna be more pissed that you don't buy now and the price goes up and you've missed the opportunity than you'd be if you bought now and it went down. Because if it goes down, it's likely you're gonna have more money to buy a cheaper Bitcoin, but you're not gonna have that money to buy a more expensive Bitcoin. So I really agree on that. It's a really good sort of place to average. I think
the downside risk is just minimal, right? Like, yes, it could go to 1,000. I don't think it would go that low, but maybe it does. But the downside risk, it's like, okay, that's way better than if it goes from here to 6,000, and now you're like, well, fuck, it's now double.
Yeah, and then that's also a really nice bull trap as well.
Yeah, 6,000 people. I mean, I think it'd be hilarious if we went to 6,000 and then dumped again, because it's like, how does support and resistance work, right? If this was support for so long, do you think we just blast through it, or do you think it might be, an area that price turns around at?
I think as well, from what I've seen, especially, is that you will likely get a retest. If let's say that that recent drop was the bottom, you'll get a retest sort of around it, maybe a little bit higher, maybe a little bit lower, or maybe bang on it. You'll get a double bottom, and to me, that doesn't look like a double bottom to me.
No, we
And
got
then
one
go down
on.
again.
If you look at the last bottom here, it's exactly what happened, right? So you had the low form here.
There,
You
yeah,
had all this consolidation, then you had that another retest. I mean, this looks very similar market structure wise in terms of like there's your low, there's your high, there's your higher low, there's a higher high, but then you did get a retest down there. So I don't think that your chances to buy in the 3000s are done yet, but I definitely think you're being foolish if you haven't. I made a couple spot buys at like 4000. They're not great, but I made some buys in the low 3000s too, and my average is not that bad. Like if you believe in another bull run for Bitcoin, you're gonna be considered an OG and a genius if you bought in the 3000s.
yeah, absolutely.
Even if the bottom was 1,000, I'm telling you, if you ask anyone who bought the previous, bear market, if they're like, you bought Bitcoin at 2,000 before 20K, you're a genius. It's like, dude, 2,000 is so far from the bottom. Dude, 2,000's all the way over here, right? But you would still be like, that guy's smart. He got in early, right? When in reality, it's like we could be down here right now, where it's just crazy, right? So, I mean, you'd be very happy if you bought on this confirmed uptrend. So, for all the trading going on and like the trying to catch the bottom and stuff, don't forget that like if you believe in a bull run, it's also about investing for long term. Have a longer time horizon than next week.
I mean, the thing I think as well is the problem that I find with the overall crypto Twitter space is that not a lot of people are like genuine experienced traders. So what they see is this kind of like market structure forming, but they don't have that experience to see like, well, when you get a higher high, oh, that's it, brilliant. Now we're going straight up. If you don't long now, if you don't buy now, you miss the boat. But experience tells you if you get a key level broken, 9 times out of 10, that will pull back and give you buying opportunities. I've got a whole strategy about momentum following that when a key level gets broken, it will retrace or it will go back to a base, and then that's when you long, and then it goes back up. So I think a lot of people are panicking that as soon as we make a higher high, that's it. If you're not in, you're fucked. But you're not. It will.
Yeah, don't set a
test the bottom, or it will drop again. Like I'm convinced of it.
Don't set a buy stop here, right? Be like, oh, it broke this, buy stop, I'm in the trade, because it's very likely that it's gonna come back and retest. You might not get that perfect retest. Like everyone's like, oh, when Bitcoin's ripping, there's no retests. Like, are you kidding me? There's actually a lot of really nice retests. Like it might not be perfect, but there's a break, there's a pullback in here that you're buying on, right? And it's no different than the entire bear market. Every time it broke a low, right, it came back and gave you a great selling opportunity at a level. So
and you've got everyone on Twitter as well as looking at the 15-minute chart daily, all day. So
yeah,
you're gonna see the setup forming.
It's in crypto is not, and this is how I learned, and it's what I suggest other people to do as well, is to get into Forex just so you have some exposure to a market that ranges, goes up and goes down. Whereas crypto, it's either blasting straight up, right? Like in a bull market, this is not an easy place to learn to trade because you're getting a lot of like you're getting a lot of false positives in that everything you buy like works out. Like there's a lot of bull market heroes, bull market geniuses. This is true in the stock market as well, where traders are like, oh, this guy's calling everything. It's like, well, everything's fucking going up, right? Like you could have picked any altcoin here and looked like a genius for getting a 10x. But it's when the market turns. But this is hard to learn. It's hard to learn how to trade here. It's hard to learn how to trade in this type of conditions as well, right? But if you go into other markets where you have more variability, there's a lot that you can learn there that you can come back and then apply to Bitcoin and crypto and be a bit more objective about it, right? A lot of people have emotional connections to crypto because you made a lot of money in it or you lost a lot of money in it. And now you have this emotional need to be like, well, fuck, I made all this money, I can do it again. Or I lost all this money and I need to make it back. And that's going to fuck with your analysis. Whereas it's like, I don't really care about, the Euro USD. It literally affects me zero. But I want to trade it because it's a nice chart to trade. Well, not right now. It's not so nice. But, you know,
It's disgusting. It's just
it's
fucking ripping
disgusting. It's a
people
bad
forever.
example. Let's use the cable. But it's just another pair to me. Whereas some people have this emotional investment because they've won or lost money trading in crypto, where it's like they need to do it again, and that will affect your analysis whether you like it or not. And the other issue is when you stare at the same fucking chart for so long, these numbers become ingrained in your memory. It's hard to be unbiased when you stare at the same fucking chart all the fucking time. So let's open up the floor to a couple questions here.
Moon phases, yeah, shit, we're missing a trick there.
Moon phases, oh man. Stingray, what's happening, buddy? Brad, Bitcoin, please go to the moon. Stop going sideways now. All right, I'll tell Arthur you said so. You guys might be related, dude. Same last name.
Man. Same last name.
I see you, Arthur, trying to come in to my stream incognito.
It's because I tweeted at him today.
Yeah, exactly. Opium, BTC and ETH are doing the bouncing ball effect. Every bounce off support is weaker. I mean, yeah.
This is what I said. Remember that tweet I put up?
Yeah.
I sent it to you beforehand. It's doing like the same thing.
I posted this one at 6K as well, right? I was like, this is not bullish,
Yeah.
right? Like, so.
That's it. I did the same down here.
Yeah.
Same down here. Lower highs.
What chart did you do it on?
I did. Oh mate, I think it was a daily.
Yeah.
I've got no idea.
Yeah.
It's on my Twitter. People can have a look.
Hello, Omar. Mega dab. Right back at you, Josh. Hi, Brad. Looks bullish.
Bullish.
XHV is bullish. See, this is what I mean. I love when people come on streams and like chart this random illiquid shitcoin in a bear market. It's like, okay.
Isn't XHV the one that everyone was like shilling and hated? Oh, look, it's pumped basically.
Oh man, this looks super bullish, dude. You should probably long this thing.
Yeah.
I would not touch this chart with fucking Mr. TA's dick.
Everything.
Like, my God. I wouldn't touch this chart with your dick. It's like, I don't understand.
We have a bullish engulfing candle.
Yeah, sorry. Because you know what? This might go up. Like, that's the thing. And then someone's going to be like, oh, it's like, but I have better ways to potentially lose money than trying to do it on this. You know what I mean? Like, I would rather go to the casino than buy a chart that looks like this on the high time frame.
Oh man, it's just like
like, look, this is you're like it looks bullish. It's like, bro, you missed the fucking move. Like, if you're telling me this thing looks bullish now, like, we've just ripped, right? You know what I mean? Like, and to me, there's not really an obvious signal here. I mean, other than maybe this, I don't know. I don't know where you get a buy signal from this. I really don't.
This is actually a really good example. If you just zoom out a little bit, this is actually a really good example of what I was just talking about.
Oh, the level.
Like it's broken. Yeah, it's broken now. That like a key level down there on the left. Actually, no, it's kind of reacted to something, but it's making what you would probably call a higher high now. But look, it's going to pull back. And
everyone is going to buy this here, right? Because they're going to see that this thing went up 12% today, and then they're going to find that it's going to come down here, and this is the primo buy, right? If it's going to continue.
Yeah.
Just for my order block homies that
refine the level.
Yeah, my order block homies that are I'm sure I'm watching watching right now. There you go.
Go down to like H1.
Go down to what? The H1?
Like H1 or H4, yeah.
You're trying you're trying to refine this level.
H4, sorry. Yeah, this grim is like no volume. So H4, yeah. So in terms of like key structures, I would probably call like to the left a little bit more. Yeah, like this.
This
like
is my level.
Range, I would probably is what I would call important.
So for those watching, you know, order block, supply and demand, whatever you want to fucking call it. To me, what I like about this level is this the area you're talking about?
Yeah, I mean, like it's that whole structure. It's like that it's within.
Because if you look here, guys, this move right led to this breakdown. That's why it's significant to me, and it came back and retested and then moved away again. This is confirmation that this is a good level.
Yeah.
And now what we have here is, even if you look on the initial spike, it came back right back down into that level. So I would not be surprised at all if we saw a move back into here. And then if this is a legit start of an
That's
uptrend,
exactly what I would do. Yeah.
yeah,
I was just about to say, if it breaks that high again, then I wait for the pullback down to that
Yeah.
base. I wouldn't just like blindly hit it. If it drops like now and hits that base, I wouldn't touch it. I need a confirmation that it's going to make a higher high, and then I'll wait for the pullback. And that's what people need to sort of think about in terms of significance. Is that again, it's all like about market structure and the signals of the market. You have to be patient. You can't just say, well, there's a fucking base there, let's hit it. It's got an order block, and I learned that from Trader Mayne and Trader SC, so I'm going to hit it. But there's no importance. If that just drops now, it's going to go straight back down to like 5,500, back to the origin.
What I want to see is it get support here and then move away, and then you buy the pullback. But this is a bullish beginnings of something. Short the bankers. I'm gonna stick with longing the bankers, Brad.
Yeah.
In my honest opinion, and if someone in here can prove me wrong, I don't see any value in crypto, really, outside of stuff like what JP Morgan is doing with their coin. I think there's value there because it's a fucking bank. And if you want to have something become a currency or some sort of asset that's used globally, guess what you need? You need distribution from the people who fucking control all that shit, the banks. So I think there's value in that kind of shit, and I think there's value in instant settlements. I do a lot of work with people in the financial sector, and they say the most interesting thing about crypto is not Ripple or Bitcoin or whatever. It's the instant settlement aspect. That can be really good for things like trusts and things like international transfers of money and custody. When it comes to banking, custody is a major topic, especially in investments as well. It's like someone holding the money. So that is interesting value for crypto for me. Any of these fucking coins to me, it's like, yeah, fuck that. If I tried to explain to my mom how to send Bitcoin to me, she'd do her head in. She'd have not even the slightest idea if I was like, hey, by the way, you got to type in this 32-digit code, and if you fuck up even one character, the money's gone forever. Like, yeah, okay. Like, what does Bitcoin do today that it was supposed to do when it was created 10 years ago? What does it do today better than it did 10 years ago? Anything at all?
You know, Edwards actually made a really good point. Smart contracts, the biggest thing. I really, really like them.
Yeah.
I think they're absolutely brilliant.
Yeah, that could be something of use as well. Fuck the bankers, one ETF, bottom is in. God, this is what happens when you get a fucking public stream going. Monthly looks...
Fuck the bankers, but when I sell my crypto, it's going into my bank.
Yeah, exactly. What are you selling your crypto for? Does your landlord accept Bitcoin? Do you keep your money under your mattress in a shoebox?
Yeah.
Monthly looks like a bull flag. Okay.
I think he means the whole chart. I know what you mean, and I don't like calling them bull flags. It's like the whole TA for dummies. I know you're talking about Bitcoin.
Oh, Bitcoin.
That was ages ago. I saw that. Yeah. Like it's done like you go to like one of those trading.
Yeah, and they just have a lot. They're like, here's the flagpole, and here is the flag, and it's gonna move a measured move up the flagpole. Yeah. Yeah, maybe.
I see what you mean. But I mean, like, if we looked back at that in like 10 years' time, I would agree. This is what you would expect to happen down to a bottom. Like, if that just capitulated all the way down to like 2K in like a month, no, you don't want to buy it. But the way it sort of compresses down there is brilliant. Yeah, no, it's funny. Yeah, it's funny. All of those patterns and stuff, they're like, oh, of course, this was an Adam and Eve. I was like, yeah, it makes sense now that it's fucking broken out. It's an Adam and Eve. It's like, well, where were you calling it before? An Adam and Eve, guys, is just a higher low. Hate to break it to you. I've got no fucking idea what that is. I never heard of it until I saw people on Facebook and crypto talking about Adam and Eve.
It's like, I think it's this. It's the Adam, and then it goes the Eve, right? And then there's your neckline, right? And then it's like, that's a shitty drawing, but that's the essence of it, which is really just a low and then a higher low and then a break in market structure. But, you know, Adam and Eve works too.
Surprised one of my friends on Twitter haven't renamed that yet.
Yeah, exactly. Adam and Steve, because it's 2019. Last dip ever. Tell that to Angelo at 6,000, Josh. Where is he now? And guess what? Angelo doesn't give a fuck that Bitcoin has continued to dump because he's been buying it since 2013. Like, so funny. Like people have like I respect guys like Cobain because he's been around and he's got a huge account and stuff. But I was around early when Cobain knew shit fuck all about TA. He just had like 3-digit, 4-digit Bitcoin back in like 2013, 2012. He had like over 1,000 Bitcoin, right? So it's like hard to be not 100 millionaire by now if you had 1,000 Bitcoin when they were $200, right? Like you gotta be really dumb. And I have DMs from him and Kaz. Like Kaz would be telling him like, "Yo, TA works in crypto," and he's like, "No, it doesn't." He's like, "Yes, it does, because like it's a market." Yeah, exactly. He's like, it's a like it was crazy. The kind of conversations that were had back then, but like Cobain is considered just like a god now, and it's like, dude, I mean, he was just early, and maybe you can be early buying now. Who fucking knows? But anyways, it's just like same thing with Angelo. It's like you really think Angelo gives a fuck? Like the guy's had Bitcoin since 2010, so last dip ever at 6K. It's like he's not looking so hot now. And you get why he's not on Twitter, and like people were roasting him for that post, be like, "Oh, you were wrong. 6K wasn't the floor." You really think he cares? Like anyone who's really rich is not on Twitter.
Sitting on, he's like probably shitting on gold toilets.
Exactly.
Like a mansion. Like, what the fuck does he care that people on Twitter think?
Yeah. Is it even worth trading this? Seems to be a lot of uncertainty and negative confluence, both long and short. Surely want high quality setup. I agree with you. I would wait for a clear trade. Like right now, if I wasn't already in a trade, I would be waiting for kind of a break of this area here or a break below like this area here. Like if you're not in a trade and you're like, hey, where's the next trade gonna happen? Like I think this range is just kind of fucked. Not something I'd really be interested in trading in if you're not in a position. Because look what's happening, right? Like you're like, okay, I'm gonna long it here, and then wick. Oh, I'm gonna short it here, and then wicked out. So
yeah, I mean, you missed it now. Like I shorted 41.25, put that on Twitter, and then there's a really nice setup on M15, which was like I can't even remember 38. Sorry, 38. Where is it? Let me get my chart. 38.50, which is where I shorted. There's like a really nice little thing on M15.
On this wick?
My strategy. Nah, to the left.
Oh, here.
M15 or might have even been M5. Yeah, I caught that. Might have been M5,
Yeah, no, there's a trade. This is my exact trade basically. Is I traded in a retest kind of into this level here. I got in at like these lows. Once these lows broke here, I sold a pullback here. I got in at like 38.20. So I posted that one on Twitter too. But regardless, I think you're not, if you are bull biased and you think that this thing is going up, you want to be long in it in this gray area until it doesn't work anymore. There you go. We're pumping right now. Mayne live stream pump. This always happens, guys. We always get some action. And by action, I mean prices move like $20.
Pull out. Nah, it's gonna make a lower high, I reckon.
Yeah. Well,
it's
exactly.
Gonna make a lower high and then we're gonna drop.
Well, we'll find out soon. Okay, let's see. So yeah, Pixel, I agree with you. Wait for a high quality setup. You don't always need to be in a trade, right? The sign of a good trader is patience. They're not always in a setup. They wait for the good ones. They don't just take a trade just because they're like, oh, well, shit's happening. I better get in a trade. I don't trade on Mondays. I don't really like trading on Fridays. I don't really like trading on the weekend. So even if there's a setup,
I think the simple and effective answer is you should have a trading strategy if you're trading, and wait until the setup forms that meet your strategy, and then you take the trade.
100%.
If you're just looking for it, you're just going to get caught out by one of these nasty wicks, one of these random pumps. There's just nothing to trade there for me on H4.
Yeah, me either. RSI is good, Mayne, just for confirmation. Okay. Nothing I've ever used ever before. I've never used RSI. I know what it means. I know relative strength index. That's about all I know about it. Shorting that ICT breaker after the breakdown was your high quality setup. There you go. That's a trade you look for. Breakers are one of my favorite setups, and so if I see one, I'll trade it. But if there isn't one, I don't fucking look. F is breaking down, bro. This message must have been 5 minutes ago because now it's breaking up, dude. Okay, buy XLM. Man, you are just giving all the gems today.
That must be Junkie because he's the one. Doesn't he?
He only accepts XLM, right? Yeah.
Oh, look at it.
See, again, similar idea. This is like XHV, but a little bit of time has passed. This looks better actually, but this actually looks surprisingly like Bitcoin to me.
I mean, I would wait for a break of where you just had it.
Yeah.
Break above that there, and then you look to buy, right?
Yeah. So nothing until this flips. But I mean, this looks better than that XHV coin. I would say, Angel, that this looks more bullish than XHV. Bullish. Mayne, turn on moon phase. What the fuck is moon phase? Is that an indicator?
Oh, we got SZ in here.
SZ?
SZ's in here.
Oh shit. Here we go. See, of course, if you would have just bought the moon phase and shorted the moon phase, you're fucking laughing. Look at that. It's too bad it happens after the pump has happened.
Yeah.
This is interesting. Like, that's kind of interesting to me. I mean, nothing I would ever personally trade, but that's pretty crazy.
I have no idea how the fuck that works, but
nuts.
That looks ridiculous.
It looks insane. Well, I'll study that one up, guys, and I'll release a paid newsletter about it. Oi, what up, Trader SZ?
Took a break from some steak.
Yeah,
join us.
The legend. What's an order block? That's gonna cost you, man. You're gonna have to sign this NDA first, and then I'll tell you.
Or we can call it something else, and then post that on Twitter.
Yeah, exactly.
Same thing. We'll call it something else though.
The bank delivery box, as Scarface always says.
Yeah, I like that bank delivery box.
Pivot. There you go. Pivot. Exactly. Cup and handle formation incoming. Angel, you're funny, man.
Yeah.
254.
Oh man, that just sounds like a bit gibberish to me.
Milan's in our group. Milan, here's the thing about MA crosses is they're not predictive, right? So in hindsight, I could throw on what's a good MA cross because I don't even use it. Would be like 20 and something or 250 maybe. That's the one people always like to use.
Oh, so it's like 200 on the weekly or something. I've got absolutely no idea.
And then they use the 50, I think, right?
Yeah, there's Bull of Bitcoin or some. I think that's his name on Twitter. He actually uses them quite well. He's shown me, but for me, I couldn't use them.
Why is this one not showing up? Am I so bad with moving averages that I can't even get them to show up? Maybe 100 day. Maybe that's better.
Oh, it moved down a bit.
These don't
look... What about 50? Try 50. Make it fit our bias.
Yeah, exactly. Let me keep changing this until it works. Because that's... Here you go. Here's a cross.
Yay.
Right? So we'll change one of the colors so we know what they are. You did a whole thread on this, didn't you?
Me?
Yeah, didn't you do a thread on why this is bullshit? Or a tweet?
I wanted to find out if it was bullshit because I was gonna call it bullshit, but then I knew I'd have loads of people coming at me. But I did say, like if you've got a weekly chart and you go back, I bet if you put the replay tool back down to like where that tip is, that swing high, it's gonna change it. You know, is that? I don't know how the fuck this works, but
hold on.
You look at them selling that when that crosses, what's the point?
Yeah, so I mean, I guess the argument is they're coming close, right? And you would sell on the cross, but to me, live, and I don't think the replay tool does it justice here. Live, you guys, if you want to use MAs, at least know what they are, right? It's a moving average, and then the number here is the number of periods based on the chart. So if we're on the daily, this is the average of the last 200 daily candles. So what you don't realize is it looks different now than it does when it's forming live. It's not going to be something predictive because it's changing as more time passes, if that makes sense. Anyways, I like if it was as easy as being like, oh, well, of course, you just buy here, right? You buy when they cross here and you're rich. It's like, okay, well, why didn't everyone do that? Why isn't everyone fucking rich?
And was it crossing at that point?
Yeah, and was it actually crossing at this point in time?
Average data from the entire chart, and it shows that cross there, but guaranteed at that point in time, that was not there if you use these exact settings. which is why it's a whole meme.
Yeah. Yay black. Okay. Is
That's
TA
like
Sam
Turkish
Pepper sounds the exact same? Who's Sam
Who's
Pepper?
Sam Pepper? No idea.
Is he
It's
a
my
you?
old account apparently. Just have a look. I'm gonna look on Twitter.
Is he a
Is he on
YouTuber
Twitter?
or is he on Twitter? Sam Pepper.
Sam Pepper. Oh, he's got a little blue tick next to his name as well.
Oh, so he's
Uh,
legit.
I wish, man. He's got 800,000 followers.
Good God. You know what? For a second there, I thought we just pumped $100. I'm on the Bitfinex price. I'm like, holy shit. Um, so I actually think I know this Sam Pepper guy. Didn't he get in trouble for like using his like fame in air quotes to like hook up or like exploit little girls or something? He was like messaging like 14-year-olds. If that's the case, Mr. TA is definitely Sam Pepper.
Yeah, he sounds like my spirit animal.
ICT signed a piece of paper that said Bitcoin is going to $100. First of all, Brad, don't ever speak about my father in that tone. No, I mean, ICT has no interest in Bitcoin, and as much as I've learned a lot from him, I do think he can be a little bit of a nutter. So that's to put it lightly.
Maybe Brad is him.
Yeah, and if you are Brad, I'm very sorry. I love you. It's FOMO and bullish Twitter that's the killer. I started when the market turned, and I'm glad I did. Yeah, man, it's crazy how much sentiment you can gain, analysis you can do just based on crypto Twitter, because it's really the perfect tool where anyone can just go on and just tweet shit exactly how they're feeling, just emotion, at any given time. And that's really what the chart is, right? This is something I learned from Kazanomics. It's the Wall Street cheat sheet. You never saw that shit in Twitter until he started posting it, for crypto at least. And just all the emotions you would see on the chart. And, he had it down to a science where he would have accounts and he would be like, based on this account saying something, like the top is in. And he would be right. It's nuts. There's this guy back in 2013-14 named Ash Drake, like ASH, Ash Drake. And like, it was crazy. This guy was the perfect counter indicator, and like he would tweet at the bottom that he's like bearish and at the top that he's bullish, like so precisely. It's insane. And like we memed him off of Twitter. Like he deleted Twitter because he became such a meme. It was crazy. So Twitter can be your friend if you use it properly.
But few of them these days, though, right? Some new people like that.
Oh, there's definitely a lot of people like that. I have a private list on Twitter of people that I follow. And I like to counter trade, and it's served me very well. I have an account that I have tweets for at this high, this high, this high, and this high, being perfectly wrong every time, and it's awesome.
I know who you're talking about. That's brilliant.
Yeah. What alts do you hodl, bud? I don't think hodling is a strategy, and I don't do it. I literally don't hold any alts outside of some Ripple and some Ethereum, from like 110 and like 28 cents. That's it. And some Bitcoin. I don't hold anything else right now. I have no interest in being on Binance. I don't really care if I'm missing some 20-30% pumps. Just the risk for me and just the time. I don't have the mental bandwidth to be monitoring 50 different alts on Binance. I don't give a fuck. Any hope for Dragon Chain? I hope you don't own any Dragon Chain.
No, mate. I knew some guys that got into that ICO and were like, "We're rich," when it did that huge rally up there. Yeah. And now it's like fuck all.
I have buddies who bought. Like if you imagine buying the ICO of this, and then this happening.
And you couldn't touch it, could you?
And then not selling any of it.
What percent was that? That's at least 10, right?
That's 1,000. 1,000%. Imagine not fucking selling. That's 1,500. Sorry. Yeah, it's a 15x. Like, imagine not selling any of that.
Well, you couldn't. Didn't they? Could they not? They couldn't get their coins out, could they?
I don't know the specifics. I mean, this will be similar, right? I mean, let's look at the daily here. Something with a little bit more. I mean, this is a bad example. Is it delisted everywhere else? I guess. Is it only on BitterX? If that's the case, Brad, I'm gonna say the hope level is low.
Yeah.
Expect an
Sorry, bro.
email soon from Bitterex saying they're delisting it. Zahava Levy. What do you think of a liquidity tap to the previous consolidation before the 4K pump before we dump hard? If you're talking about a tap of here, this was my initial short idea that didn't play. I didn't quite get an entry on here. My initial goal was to short somewhere around here. So if that's what you're asking, that is what I thought. But I mean, just looking on the daily on this thing, right? We have this crazy wick here, crazy wick here. It's like, to me, it's like, don't touch this thing right now. So if it comes up here, yeah, it's a short. I'm in a short already. Maybe I add half size there, another percent, but my stop is like just above here. It's like literally just above this wick. So if we come back up there, I'm out of the trade.
I think your stop's like 60 cents higher than mine.
Yeah, so mine is more precise. Mine's more precise. Yeah, that's exactly what I just said, Zahava. Can you share your thoughts on XAU? Probably some downside for a few weeks, in my opinion. Gold is in an interesting spot for me. So, I mean, we had this crazy move that I was fortunate enough to catch a lot of. To me, we're retesting a very key area here, which is just this kind of consolidation before this massive move down. So to me, this needs to hold. I'm actually looking for longs this week, based on this being my, well, that was an ugly X, but this being my invalidation here. If we get below this level, I do think we're going to see some significant downside. But this was a level that acted as, resistance 3 weeks in a row, support. We're now back in the area here, so I would like to see this area hold. If it's going to have any continued upside. I still would like to think we have one more push higher up through here, but it doesn't have to happen. This could be the end of the move, and we could see a move up and then, a retrace happen. So cautiously bullish, bro, as long as we kind of hold these levels that we're at right now. Where would you sell RVN if holding? Now, immediately, because I keep seeing people post about it on Twitter. Oh, God. Jesus.
Whoa. What the fuck?
Maybe I should be on Binance.
Dude, nearly tripled in 2 weeks. What is going on there?
I mean, this is a very clear uptrend here.
Isn't this just like the cycle that all the big caps pump and then they move into the mid caps and then low caps and then Bitcoin dumps?
Venture Coinist does a really good explanation of that, but you can see, right? Yeah. This is a clear kind of, I guess you could call this accumulation, right? But I mean, if this is exactly what we were talking about, it might look better on the daily. Or
like the little high, yeah.
So you have a break of your key level here. There's your retest. There's your break. Any pullback now you could have bought, right?
Beautiful.
So instead of buying here, right, there's a perfect pullback. But now you could do this again, right? Let's say you missed it again, right? There's your high, pulled back. Here's a high, right? Pulled back right into the high. This is a great example of it. Like, that's beautiful.
RVN mobile or iOS mobile asset wallet was released. Android in development still.
Well,
it's a wallet shit.
That is a good piece of news. At this point, man, I would definitely be taking profits. Look at this fucking thing.
Where did you buy that? If I put that at the bottom, I'd be out now.
Yeah, like
tripled your money.
Jesus Christ, look at this.
Fuck. Still, look at it. It's still moving up as we speak.
So if you're in this right now and you want to know where to sell, if you don't want, I don't know if you can put stops on Binance, but take some off the table, 100%.
Hell yeah.
100%, but like you could put your stop here now, and just let it ride, right? You could just continue as long as it keeps making higher highs. You could just continue, but like even looking on the 6 hour, right? This is not gonna sustain. You can't go up like this for very long. So this thing is going to dump, and it's going to dump hard. So if you're in this, I would be taking profit right now. And if you want to let some ride, let it ride. But we're coming into consolidation here, right? Like once we cleared this high, smooth sailing, right? But now we're coming into some areas where, yeah, definitely would make sense to start slowing down in here. But holy fuck.
He bought below. He bought below 300, dude. You've like nearly tripled your money.
Yeah, if you're asking when to take profit when you're up 3 times, the time is now.
Yeah,
and it could keep going, man. And it could keep going, and you could come back and be like, oh, well, it went to 850 sats, and I sold at 750. It's like if you're complaining at tripling your money, it's like you're an idiot.
Yeah.
But holy crap, maybe I should send some money over to Binance. I don't know. I'm gonna rebrand as altcoin Mayne.
Altcoin Mayne, yeah, I like that. You can call them alt block instead of order blocks.
Yeah, exactly. That's a crazy news.
No one's talking about them.
Yeah, that's a crazy news related pump. That's nuts. But I mean, when did the wallet drop? Right?
Oh, it must have been recently, right?
Because if the wallet dropped recently, is this not an uptrend that it's been in for 2 weeks now? Right? So
people are buying it ready for that, though, aren't they?
People are buying it here right now. So just be happy that you bought it down here. Like,
jeez,
this was your buy. This was the real first signal I see. Kind of, if I can finagle this thing. So this would have been a sign for me, right? Here's your low, higher low. This high. Now I'm in buy mode on this thing.
Look at that as just an example of what we were talking about at the Bitcoin bottom. You get your high above that structure to the left, and look, it comes all the way back down, tests the bottom.
That's exactly what I want to see happen here if this is the bottom. Right? I want to see this level get broken, retested, and that's when you fucking go balls deep on a long.
Go.
Okay, I find most people try and predict what's going to happen without waiting for the right signals. The better traders are patient and wait for the right signals from the market before making a move. That is a very astute observation.
Yep, so exactly what we've been saying as well.
Jeremy Koberstein. I think Mayne cuts off Mr. TA's every second sentence. Lol. Well, fuck you, Jeremy, but you're probably right.
Yeah, he does. He does. When we're in private talk, though, private chat is just me talking, and then as soon as we go live, you're just fucking motor.
I'm a man of the people. I love my own voice. What can I say?
There we go.
For serious, could you paraphrase ICT's $100 prediction? How he found that level? I think it's complete garbage.
No way it's going down there. Absolutely not.
Yeah, crypto is dead if Bitcoin goes to $100. Bitcoin maybe will go to $100, years from now when there's something different, but I just don't see it. Thoughts on LTC?
Oh, I got PTSD about that.
I love when people just say thoughts. They'll like send me a chart and they're like, thoughts? I'm like, what the fuck? Am I a monkey? Like, thoughts on this? Do critical thinking for me. Oh, look, this is back when I had terrible color schemes. What was I thinking there? But look at that retest before the whole dump. Come on now. I'm posting this on Twitter for clout. No one was looking at this like me. So,
jeez, May last year. To me, that's gonna go down.
Yeah, LTC to me looks like Bitcoin, but like further ahead. Like I think it's pumped. I don't know.
That view was really nice before. Was it H8 or
H4? This one.
No, it must have been H8. Yeah, this is zoom out. Or it might even be daily, fucking hell.
I think it was
no, that's it.
Yeah, it is
daily. That level, it's reacting off a huge level.
Yeah, in here,
and to me, that's just going to drop. The way it looks now, yeah, it's going to drop. Yeah, beautiful level. Like,
this doesn't look good, right? Like, if this is bullish, what you want to see is on this move through here, you want to see this, right? You don't want to see this and then pricing in a lower high. So there's your level of interest. Whoever asked that in the chat, basically like 12,500, you could even call it. if you want just to round it, or 12,600. If it gets above there clean, retest, sure, it's gonna go on another rip. But to me, this looks like it's waiting to get filled all the way back down here. Mayne, I know you're not a huge fan of diagonals, but that one on BTC big time frame is hard to ignore. I call it diagonal resistance of death. Looks like it's due for a retest by April 1st.
Oh, I don't like diagonals because they're so subjective and.
Again, it's one of those things where it's like I can draw. Remember this, guys, and if you go back in Twitter, look at accounts who are doing this. This one, right? Maybe I can't even do them because I'm so shitty at them. But it was this, right? It was like, oh, we broke, and then it's like, oh, there you go. Like there was so many of these fucking. I think it might look better on the daily. Like there were so many people who drew these trend lines, right? And then we had a break. They're like, look, it was this here. I remember this. You remember this? Look at this.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, and then we had a high, and then we just went sideways for another 6 fucking months, right? Like, I can make this look however I want based on my bias. You know what I mean? So I don't even know where you're picking this diagonal trend line of death from. Is it here? Like, cause we've already broken this trend line. I've seen this one on Twitter before.
You're fucking kidding me, really.
So to me, the silly thing about it is what people don't realize is trend lines can be, molded to fit whatever fucking narrative you want it to fit, right? Like here, this is probably the one. Maybe this is a good trend line.
That's probably the one. Yeah, that probably looks like the one.
Yeah, because we're gonna come and test this.
Like, if you're drawing like horizontal levels, right? You look at why things are important, like if it's broken another level or whatever the case is. But with a trend line, people just like, well, here's a high and here's like a midpoint, so I'll just draw the two. Oh shit, look, that should be resistance. It's bollocks, because everything you look at should have some sort of significance.
To me, I always say this in my videos. I'm like, trend lines are just signifying lower highs or higher lows. That's all it's showing you. It's like, but do any of those lows or highs matter? Because that's much more important. And you can look at, say, the reason this level matters is because this move preceded on a break of it. Right? I don't care about mapping the lower highs. I can just visually see that we're making higher lows. I don't need a trend line to tell me that, right? The only thing a trend line might be good for is when you see something like this, realizing that type of an up movement is not sustainable. And it's going to probably...
That's what I use it for, to show compression into a level.
Yeah, and that's really all. Nice. That's all a wedge is, right? Like if people are like, oh, well, what's? It's like, okay, a wedge is just showing, okay, well, we're compressing, which means the range is tightening, right? The distance between the high and the low of the candles is getting smaller. It's compression. It's the same thing Bollinger Bands do. It's all the same fucking shit, and it all is derived from candles and price, right? Like every indicator out there is a way of visually representing price. So if you understand price, you don't need the indicators in a sense. The thing about trend lines is it's funny. People are like, oh, well, they're for predictive, because you can see in the future price might come back and touch here. I was like, timing matters in trading, right? So I don't give a shit if you can draw a trend line being like, oh, a lower high here formed. It's like knowing why that lower high here formed is not because, you were like this. Like, oh, this is a good trend line now, right? But it's like in reality, there's key horizontal levels here and here that told you this was going to happen. And now in hindsight, I can go and say, well, of course, third touch of a trend line. And we had people, I'm very confident when this happened, we had our 3 touches, right? And then we had a break. And people tried to long this. Remember, this is right before the floor fell out. There's people longing to 6,800. So I don't fuck with trend lines, but if you can use them and they help you, by all means.
I mean, if you're looking at supply and demand of why the markets move, they move off of horizontal levels because that's the price values that are bought and sold. You don't. Why would you sell in the middle of a range based on a fucking diagonal? Doesn't make sense at all.
Yeah. Smart contracts, the biggest thing. We agree. Came for the revolution, stayed for the money. I'm with you, Sneak, except I never believed in the revolution. I've always been in crypto for money.
Yeah. Trader Mayne, not revolution Mayne.
Yeah, exactly. My name was Crypto Mayne before I decided I didn't want to pigeonhole myself. Smart contracts with GUI interface, no strings, bullshit, way into the hands of millions without them knowing. Oh, sure. Who's Angelo? Exactly. Who is Angelo?
Yeah.
Um, Joe Lammers. Kaz has been saying, look at CT, really smarter in the banks. It's like, exactly, dude. Kaz is 100% right. You see these fucking idiots. Like, just go take one look at the Ripple community. You're telling me these people are going to be the downfall of the central banks that are literally the smartest fucking people in the room of all time?
Who's Gaz? Who is Gaz?
Kazanomics.
I don't know who that is.
Yeah, go on his blog, kazanomics.com/blogs. Check out some of his articles. Super interesting stuff. But I mean, the central banks have been pumping and dumping the fucking world economy on those without knowledge since the early 1900s. So if you really think some person named like Ripple Girl 69 who will come and troll you if you say anything negative about Ripple is on the right side of the transaction in terms of like a changing in hands of global power, I think you're wrong.
That's a really precise Twitter name you just used then, Ripple Girl 9. Should I tweet out Ripple Girl 9, where are you?
I believe I said 69.
Oh, is it 69?
69,
Okay,
much more. That's a key difference. TA doesn't work. I agree. I don't think TA works. I think it's just a bunch of mumbo jumbo that a bunch of people on Twitter are trying to shake me out before the next bull run.
Yep, just sell low, buy high.
Yeah,
that's all you need to do.
It's easy. If bullish on JPM coin, bankers et al., why will BTC go to 40 and 100K? I don't know that it will. It might, and if it is going to, I'm going to be in it. It doesn't have to, but in my opinion, as we've seen from this bull run and the last and all these altcoin bull runs, crypto as a whole is a very easily manipulated space for people to transfer wealth from stupid people to less stupid people. It's just the way it is. I mean, that's what is any sort of exchange. What is any sort of exchange in terms of trading, right? It's those with knowledge versus those with not. Someone bought Bitcoin up here, right? Someone bought Bitcoin here, and that was like someone shorting. You know what I mean? It's every time someone buys, someone is selling, and it to me, it's like if this can happen once and there can be all this mania, think of how many broke people there are and how much a smaller percentage of those people are now rich, right? So to me, it's like that would be the reason I think it goes on another bull run, because people will get sucked in and spit out. Link could be good. One of the few shit coins that have real world application. I have no idea what that is. How can Crypto Junkie be always right? I don't know if he's always right because I've never seen him post anything in advance or any sort of chart, but I think he's hilarious.
That must be him. He's got a little Pepe the Frog.
Yeah, if that's you, Junkie, I don't know. You're running.
I love you, bro.
You're running a fucking pretty tight ship there, buddy. I mean, here's the thing. I know that people are in his group and no one is putting up bad reviews, so who knows? But yeah, I don't know. If you're listening, Junkie, we'd love to see a chart.
Yeah, we'll get him on a live stream with us.
Yeah, exactly. I'm still of the mindset that he's either actually an old man or he's like 13 years old. Mayne, you trained under Kaz, right? That dude seems to have next level understanding of markets, very unique approach. It's a very long conversation, Brendan. Feel free to DM me, but I'm not going to jump into that on the live stream. I think Kaz is a very smart dude, and I think Crypto Twitter definitely took an L when his account got blocked. ENJ just need to refocus their efforts into something particular, and they'll be number 2 legit. I've never heard of ENJ before. Should we be writing these coins down? Like, fuck. Maybe we're missing out.
Giving us buys here, aren't they?
Young Talopa. How do you say his name, bro?
I think it's Talopa.
Talopa. Because in my head,
it's not 2 P's. It should be. No, you can't pronounce shit.
No, I can't.
Mio is not meow meow.
No, and for me, when I see his name, I think of tilapia, the fish. So I just call him like Young Tialipa or something like that. It's like it's definitely not right.
I think don't have to do it, but it was like a tantric teacher or something like that. The name Talopa, I mean, that's his screen name, isn't it?
Yeah, makes sense. He is very sensual.
Yeah, he's a cool dude.
Okay, can you cover ETH? Sure. So I think we kind of did. So to me, like just very quickly on ETH, I think this consolidation that's happening here, I mean, this just looks so bad to me. Like everything in my like TA brain is like you short this, but
Slipping.
just knowing crypto, I wouldn't be surprised if it pumped. This here looks a lot like this to me, just like a slow dribbling down, kind of like distribution, but then it's just gonna pump. That's kind of what this looks like. And then on the flip side, on Bitcoin, this type of accumulation or distribution or whatever consolidation kind of looks like this. So ETH looks shittier than Bitcoin to me. I'm currently long ETH from 130, so I am underwater. My stop is at 126, and basically that's hedging against my short on Bitcoin. But yeah, ETH doesn't look good. I don't know what your thoughts. I think they're pretty similar.
Yeah, the same. It just looks like it's going to fall off a cliff to me. I think after that fork or whatever the fuck it was, I don't even know. Um, it's put in again like a lower high. It's reacted off a really nice level by the looks of things, and nothing significant's been taken out on that swing up. So to me,
But breaker.
nah, that's just been faked. It looks to me like it's taken. Yeah, it's tried to take the high it has, and it's put in a lower high, reacted off the level, taken nothing significant out from me. So we're just gonna get probably a lower low now next, or at least a test of like
Yeah,
0.41.
the lows or whatever it is here. So it's to me it was very clear that whatever the fork news on F, it was very much priced in already.
Yeah, absolutely.
So
And then people got hyped up by the mania of, oh, it's the bottom, and this is the lead in the market, so let's fucking buy it.
I had a lot of people tweet me about F because I posted like a short on it, and they were like, "Yeah, good luck shorting the fork," and I'm like, "Okay." Like, but I'm pretty sure that it's gone down ever since the fork was announced. So, buy the rumor, sell the news, whatever the old adage is. But yeah, F doesn't look good, and I think more realistically than that, Litecoin was the one that was leading the market more so than Ethereum because it like regained its like November levels.
You're looking at it now. Where is it?
I'll pull up the chart here. I think it was the USD pair. It might have been the BTC pair. I honestly I never trade Litecoin. God, what was I thinking with this color scheme? Hideous. Was it? Maybe someone in the chat will correct me as I butcher through this. But yeah, apparently this like Litecoin being where it is here is equivalent to BTC being at 6K. I don't know if you saw that on Twitter, but that was an argument I saw a lot of people posting.
Oh right, okay. No, I didn't see that.
And if you look right, like look, Litecoin here, Bitcoin is same levels it was at in July, which when Bitcoin was 6,000. So who knows? Kaz the real goat. Yes, sir. That guy's just been liquidated on F on a $3 move. Diamond TP. I don't know what that means.
No idea what that means.
Hello, SSSS KKKKKK. Bit dealer. Message retracted. What you trying to say, homie?
It sounds like they're doing something shady, aren't they?
Yeah, and then deleting it, talking shit. Weekly 200, sure. No, it doesn't make sense. Yes, it was. I don't remember what I was talking about, so I can't answer your question, Kylo.
No idea.
Beast DeLorean blocked me, and has he blocked you as well?
I have no idea who that is.
Yeah, he's like a bull market hero. He's got 50,000 followers or something like that, but he's blocked me by now, so...
I'm looking trying to Beastie.
I think it's just Beast Lorian.
Oh, Beast Lorian.
Yeah, he's blocked.
I see him there.
He's blocked me. So.
Nah, he's not blocked me. I've never seen this dude in my life.
Yeah, so no worries there. Did you sell Library Coin? No, I'm still holding it. So hopefully it goes up one day. It's like it's not worth selling right now to me. So it's like no point. In Japan,
that coin that can go up. Like, yeah, I was looking at this. I was talking to Don Alt about it like months and months ago. That's like if it all the way back up to its all-time high is something absolutely fucking ridiculous.
Oh yeah, dude, and like for me to get back to break even on this thing, it's like it's never gonna happen. So
I don't even know what does it do.
It was like the new YouTube or something.
So someone like explain like if you go on H12, what what the fuck is that candle on the left? Is that like the ICO or something
I think so.
opening?
I think that's when it got listed on the exchange.
That's just like that's mad though.
Yeah, no. So I am significantly underwater on this one. I mean, look, there's a little market cycle right there that's just happened.
Yeah.
For this thing to get back to my entry price, which is like up here, is absurd. It's at 900 sats, and I think my average is like close to 5,000. So
Oh.
I'll just let that money's dead.
Yeah, I had that with Aeon, and I just sold it in the end, just took the hit.
Yeah.
You can just then you can buy down at the bottom, and then probably make your money up better that way,
Yeah, exactly.
or in something else.
And it's not like I had a Bitcoin in there. It was a very small amount. In Japan, you can buy TVs, computers, cars with Bitcoin, almost everything, but not in supermarkets. I mean, I can buy shit with Bitcoin here too. There's Bitcoin ATMs everywhere and stuff, but you know, it's not efficient. Like even when I go to the ATM to withdraw Bitcoin, it takes like 20 minutes. It's not ideal.
Never seen one. I was in Tokyo and I didn't see any big. This was like last summer. I went to Tokyo. I didn't see any Bitcoin ATMs. I saw a couple of signs that said Bitcoin was accepted there, but it was like an electronic shop or something. It wasn't anything I was going to buy. It's cool, right? But I don't want to be using my Bitcoin to
So
buy shit.
when I was in Vegas for the crypto whatever it was with Cred and a bunch of other people, the World Crypto Con or whatever, there was a Bitcoin ATM there. You think like, okay, Bitcoin ATM at a fucking crypto convention. I go to make a withdrawal and I send it. My confirmation happens, and you basically have to wait for whatever to go through, and then you go back and you type in your code and it gives you the money. So I wait, it says it's confirmed, I go back, I type it in and it says okay, dispensing, and then no money comes out.
No way.
And I'm like, what the fuck? And being the idiot that I am, I didn't test it out with, $50. I went straight for like $1,000 so I could go hit the blackjack tables. And like I'm like freaking out because I'm like, well, what the fuck do I do? So I call the number on the ATM and it goes to just like an answering machine because it's on the weekend, and they're like, yeah, like leave your message and details. And I'm like, what the fuck is this? I'm using your ATM. And then there was a business card on the ATM as well, and I guess a company like was repping the ATM company and brought them there. And I called it. I called the number on the card because at this point I'm like, it says, like, I went to type it in again. It's like money already dispensed. So I was like, well, I guess I just lost the money then. And I call this guy, just some random dude answers. He's like, hello? I'm like, hey, like, who is this? He's like, I'm Victor. I'm like, all right, Victor, like, are you responsible for the ATM, like, at the casino right now? Because I just tried to use it. My money didn't come out. And he's like, oh, shit, like, I can meet you there tomorrow. And I'm like, well, what the fuck? I was pissed, right? And it turns out that guy and his company was speaking at the convention. And so I'm like, buddy, I'm a fucking influencer, bro. Like, if you don't fucking get me my money, like, I'm gonna fucking like tweet out some bullshit about your fucking ATMs because I'm an asshole. And he ended up meeting me, and he had to get some guy to come, and they took the ATM apart, and like there was my money like stuck in there, and I guess there was, those little like silica gel packets that you find in packaging of like something that I guess there was one of those when they shipped it and they forgot to take it out, and it was blocking the money from coming out.
Oh, I see.
I was like, what a fucking joke this is. Like, you think you could use the ATM at the crypto convention and it worked flawlessly. Okay, we're going to take no more requests, guys, because we're already at like an hour and a bit here. So if you haven't already put a request in, we'll have to get you next time. Lisk. So...
I mean, just digital look the fucking same, really, don't they?
Yeah, I mean, all of these coins...
for a while?
Yeah, all of these coins, you just need to just find the level, right? And just wait. Set an alarm on your phone or whatever on TradingView, and you just want to wait for this, right? That's where you buy it, and then you can expect it to move. There's no point in buying it until that happens. I mean, you might miss out on some upside from like here to here, but I would rather buy, especially in a bear market, just a flip, an SR flip. But, this looks like it could be accumulating. Who knows, right? Pick your level of the high, and once that gets broken and flipped, you just buy a pullback.
Yeah, well, I mean, what do you want to do? Like, hold it for the long term, which I mean, like some people want to do. And if so, like, it's right at the bottom of the fucking chart. Like, if you want to
Yeah.
hold it for 2, 3 years, why wouldn't you buy
If you
now?
think this is a really good project and it's going to be around next bull run, then yeah, sure, buy it now. But if you're just looking for a quick flip or something like that, I would wait for like this high to get taken and then to buy it.
Yeah, you got to be careful with Bitcoin as well at the moment. If that
Yeah, the
starts
thing is
dropping,
all of these alts look really good until Bitcoin dumps because like this could come up, right? And then Bitcoin could dump, and then instead of a retest, it's just gonna go like that. And we've seen that so many times, right? You'll see a bunch of people tweeting about alt season, right? Their alt season's back. You'll see our buddy Crypto West, shout out to him, tweeting about Bitlord alt season is here, and then Bitcoin will dump and everything will die. If you go and look, Bitlord tweeted alt season literally right here. I swear to God. It was either there or it was here. It, it
I
was.
put a tweet out about
I
it.
know you did.
Fucking like 2 minutes
And we were
later.
talking about it in the chat, and you're like, we just need him to tweet alt season, and then he did, and then it fucking dumped. It's hilarious. Meme Wedge, RVN EOS mobile wallet was released. Okay, so yeah, that explains that. How old are you guys? Need NDA before you tell me. I am 28.
I'm 30.
He's old. I'm not old. He's old.
Old as fuck.
Bot below 300. Yeah, you're crushing it. Mayne, you sound like you're handsome. Can you confirm? I can confirm. I actually got in an argument with my girlfriend like 3 days ago because she had me on speakerphone and she's like a server, so she works with a bunch of other girls. And I guess I was on speakerphone and her friend said that I have like a sexy voice, and for some reason I got in trouble for that. Like she's like, oh, all the girls probably say that about you. I was like, I can't fucking help it. I mean,
Does
so
she watch this? Does she watch your live stream?
yeah, she knows about my alter ego. She doesn't understand it, but I was like, just don't worry about it. This is what's paying for all your fucking shit.
You want to go on holiday? Shut your mouth.
Yeah, exactly. Stop complaining when I'm up staring at a trading view at 3 a.m. Tasers are superior to trend lines. I mean, if you can do what Will Hunting does with tasers, that guy is a wizard. I don't understand what he does, but he posts on TradingView and he'll go like 9 for 10, and he'll just have a random low pick. He'll draw the taser, and then he'll like nail this fucking level months later. It's crazy.
To the bit, but it's mental.
He might be a wizard. I'm not sure. I haven't.
He's fucking hilarious. Though. The guy's really funny.
Him and Tom Dante are both very funny, and I think that's just a product of like being online all day because you're a trader.
Yeah.
Yeah, Edward. If it keeps going up though, you can't get mad at us. Could you check out silver? Okay, this is the last chart we're gonna do, guys, and then we're gonna cap it here. So silver. What are your thoughts on this, Mr. TA? Move my.
You're gonna move your little drawing thing, yeah? We've got weekly. Looks like it is in the start of an uptrend. If I would go down to daily now.
Like this could come all the way back here, you reckon, right?
Well, we'll see what it looks like on the daily.
Yeah.
I mean, it looks like it hasn't bounced off of anything significant, so it's probably taken out a key level. Yeah, like so. On the left there, well, judging from that screen anyway, I don't know what's to the left of it. If it's taken out any significant, it's taken out a low there. Has it taken out anything on a swing up? It looks like it's taken out a huge. Yeah, no, okay, so that I would call a significant level. It's taken out what looks to be a pretty key area.
$16 basically.
Yeah, so I mean, it's taken all of that out. Even down there at like 15.4, where your cursor is like now on the left.
Yeah.
It's taken out this, and then it's kind of formed a base. I reckon it looks kind of all right for buying.
So
yeah, so I would use the more recent swing, like what is actually like dropped
like
into
this?
now. Like, yeah, I would look more there, and then I would go down next to like H4. And then if you just like zoom
that's
out,
like a swing failure pattern in the making.
Yeah, so like that, then that level down there at like 15.
Yeah.
Yeah, so to the left now, like that level there is where I'd look to buy.
Yeah.
That looks like the deepest retrace point. It looks like that whole move, like the decision to break the key high that was made on the
Started
left.
here.
Or you could buy here and then put your stop below it.
Yeah, this
But,
is
I mean,
basically in line with my thoughts on gold as well. It's like it's either going to bounce here or it's going to pull back a little deeper, but same idea. No, I agree. I think it's either going to bounce here or it's going to dip lower, but I believe gold and silver look like they have another leg in them.
Yeah, like that entire move up is just taking out some key highs for me, looking at that at a quick glance. So I would say it looks like an uptrend is starting, and I would look to long on the deepest possible retrace point, which I think that's a key level in itself on H4, the one we just marked below that. That you can see to the left as well. Like if you
Right here.
trace your cursor back to the left, so taking that out as well, which was holding price down for the best part of what looks like 4 months. So to me, that's really nice to buy down there on that line.
Yeah, no, I agree. This would be a nice area. Clear this low. Boom. All right, guys. Well, that's it. Thank you for tuning in. That was a lot of fun. So we're gonna try and do some more of this, kind of just like public stuff. It's a lot of fun for us, and hopefully it's valuable to you guys as well. We like to think that it is. So any comments, feedback, likes, retweets,
or questions about the group as well. If you want any information about our group,
100%. If you're interested in this kind of stuff, you like this type of analysis, this is just a very high level version of what we do every day in the Bitcoin trade group between myself, Mr. TA, Scarface. We do them on our own. We also do we also do group videos. We have some awesome people in there. Trader SZ, Young Tilopa. I'm just going to stop saying his name. Trader X0. We have Crypto Cred, who's kicking around in there calling people cunts. We have a lot of fun. A lot of awesome knowledge is going around. We try and do these group videos. We got David Bell, the guy who does the Macrodesiac newsletter. He's in there, sharing knowledge.
As well.
Yeah.
His newsletter with us.
So it's a lot of fun. We do this kind of shit all the time, as well as a ton of pre-recorded. I think we have over 300 videos now, education and live streams. So if you have any questions, you can DM myself, Mr. TA, Scarface, or the group page. You can check out our website. We have registrations opening in a couple of days. But then going forward, we're reworking the website. We're going to have just rolling registrations, meaning you can join at any time. Right now, we're just not set up for that. But I hope you guys enjoyed this, and we'll look forward to doing some more.
Can I just say, before we close, we just sold the top of Ravencoin. Have a look.
No way.
We just sold the top. Live. Look at that.
That's incredible.
There you go. Live for you.
Edward, yeah, you guys want to learn how to sell the top of Ravencoin, you join the Bitcoin trade group. That is hilarious. If that turns out to be the top, that's a biteable clip that we're gonna post for clout. That's so funny. All right, guys. Thank you very much. We'll talk to you later.
Thank